It was unbearable to have something so private, losing her husband, play out so publicly. Just get through today, she told herself. After today, all the attention would fade. The world would move on, and she could disappear. As a war correspondent, Matt Brio had landed in some uncomfortable and even dangerous situations all around the globe. Tsunami-ravaged Thailand, Baghdad, Syria. For a few crazy years, he had worked in unimaginable conditions. He should have been prepared for anything, and yet landing in sunny LA after flying in from freezing New York somehow still managed to throw him off his game. Drenched in sweat outside the Staples Center, thinking he would happily trade his Canon XF100 for a bottle of water, he willed himself to focus and panned the video camera lens across the throngs of people outside. About a yard away from him, a grown man wearing an LA Kings number 89 jersey held his young son's hand and sobbed. Matt wanted to get the man on camera and ask, "What did Rory Kincaid mean to you?" But he didn't have time. The real story was inside. The question was, could Matt actually get inside? He wouldn't know until he tried flashing his long-expired press pass, a relic from his days working in journalism. His phone buzzed in his pocket, and he ignored it. No doubt it was someone from 2 time zones away, wondering why the hell he'd canceled the scheduled shoot for the documentary he was in the middle of directing. But if there was one thing Matt had learned, it was that it was better to beg forgiveness than ask permission. And that went for both missing the shoot today and for crashing the memorial service. Matt made his way to security and handed his press pass to the guard. If he'd thought the whole thing through better, he might have been able to wrangle a legitimate pass from an old colleague. But nothing about this day had been thought through. The flight to LA, the decision to show up at the service, all impulses. His entire career had started with an impulse, so why stop now? But this wasn't a career move. What drew him to the stadium on that hot and inconvenient day, the magnetic pull that he could no more ignore than he could stop breathing, was personal. The guard waved him inside, either missing the expiration date on his pass or simply not caring. The service was half over anyway. Matt followed a second security guy's direction to the gate and escalator that would lead to the press box. Matt jostled for a spot in the crowded pen, nodding to a few journalists he knew, and then looking up at the video of the president eulogizing the hockey star turned soldier. Beside him, a woman wearing a CNN badge began to cry at the words, "American hero." Seriously? Matt thought. Okay, it was a tragedy. But was it more of a tragedy because Rory Kincaid had been a famous athlete? There were thousands of guys deployed overseas at that very moment. The Jumbotron screen went dark, and a 3-star general stepped up to the microphone. Matt was more interested in the woman seated just a few feet away from him, Rory Kincaid's young widow. He adjusted his camera, watching her through the lens. Her dark hair was pulled into a low ponytail, her face obscured by large black sunglasses. She was the epitome of fragile grief, and for a second, Matt felt a pang. He shook it away. Matt understood grief. He understood loss. But his hero had died without fanfare, just a footnote in history. One of tens of thousands. No one cared about that story. So Matt supposed the Rory Kincaid story would have to do. Chapter 2. Beth Adelman tried to keep up a cheerful patter of conversation during the hour-and-a-half drive from Philadelphia to the Jersey Shore. Her daughter was having none of it. A month since Lauren had lost her husband, and she was only getting more withdrawn. Lauren slumped in the passenger seat, staring out the window. Late January, the sky was gray and the trees bare. Beth turned on the defroster and glanced over at Lauren. It was hard not to think of all the summer Saturday mornings when she and her husband and the girls had made this same drive. She would wake her daughters at the crack of